Good morning. It is indeed an honor to stand in front of you, Ms. Raisa, an organizer of Project Citizen. We are very much proud to present to you our work that we had made for several months. But before that, I would like to give you the background about our work. Well, let's start off with the members of the group. We undergo screening conducted by our mentor, Mr. Edgar Marshall Breñas, together with his wife, Mrs. Ellen Breñas, as our mentor in public speaking. We have answered several questions like, what do you think would be your greatest contribution to the group? And after that, they have finalized all our answers and we come up with these 20 students. We are grouped according to our talent and skills. There is group for researching, which is mainly important in our work. There's also group who made our 4 panels, which you will see as the presentation go on. And there's also a group of presenters who are the star of today to present to you our work. During our process in Project Citizen, we did numerous brainstorming to come up with our major problem. Some suggested problems are the out-of-school youth, the fraternities, the unemployment, the dark alleys, and the pedestrian safety. We have conducted several interviews to the concerned citizens like our barangay captain and councilor to ask for their opinion of what is the major problem in our community. After that, we have concluded that the problem we have to engage in is the pedestrian safety, since there are 3 members of the group who have experienced the unreported traffic accidents. When we come up with this group, we have established the goal, which is to help in solving our community problem in our own little way. When we do Project Citizen, we have enhanced our critical thinking through brainstorming and researching. And we are glad that we are more involved in our community. To start off, here are Gypsy Magpantay and Charmaine Arosa to explain to you our community problem. Thank you.
Our chosen community, Barangay Darasa, is the largest barangay near Metro Panawan, having a land area of 390 hectares and a population of 11,955, of which a large percentage is composed by youth. To give you a clear picture of our situation, in the middle of Barangay Darasa lies JP Highway, a national road which connects the city to the other parts of Batangas. 4 schools are located along the said highway, namely Faith with 2,000 number of students. It is near in Metro Tanawan. It has 2 main gates, the north and the south. It caters for primary, secondary, and tertiary levels. The next one is the BLirio Memorial Central School and the BLirio Memorial National High School with 1,700 students each that caters for primary and secondary levels. And lastly is the His Care Learning Center with 300 students. It is located at the boundary of Barangay Darasa and Malvar. It caters for primary students. After establishing the schools, let's now proceed to the private establishments and sari-sari and the subdivisions. The private establishments are the sari-sari stores that are located along the highway. The subdivisions are the Phil and Best, the St. Joseph, and the Primavera and San Bernard Village, which is a thickly populated area. And now, let's move on in the churches. The churches are the Immaculate Chapel, Nuestra Señora de Solidad, Mormons, and Iglesia ni Cristo. Iglesia ni Cristo is an accident-prone area, meaning that the most of accidents are happening at this area. Summing it all up, and looking at the particular situation, it only shows that the pedestrians and the residents, who are mostly students, are at risk of accidents. The next part is the background of the problem will be discussed by my partner, Mr. Maine Joyce Arosa.
As we move on with our work, we conducted several surveys and interviews, one of which is with PNP Chief Lieutenant Colonel Manuel Izon Manalo. And during our interview with him, he stated that there are 16 accidents occurring every month here in Metro Tanawan. Aside from our interview with him, we also conducted surveys and interviews with the other residents of Barangay Darasa. Our team was even able to extract information from actual victims and some eyewitness accounts. Being alarmed with the problem, our whole team analyzed the situation, and these led us to observations. We have identified 7 factors that contribute to the high rate of accidents, and these are the faded pedestrian lanes, the lack and invisibility of traffic signs, the lack of sidewalks, the limited number of traffic enforcers, the absence of speed limits, the inexistence of tollway zones as well as the loading and unloading zones, and the swerving and overtaking of vehicles on the shoulder of the road. Now, let me elaborate on each factor that we have identified. Let's go to the first one, the faded pedestrian lanes. These dotted lines, as you can see in our illustration, represent the faded pedestrian lanes. Actually, these lanes have been repainted last June, but the Department of Public Works and Highways used substandard materials compared with the high standard materials that they are using in the other highways. This fosters great danger for the pedestrians since they will find it hard to cross the street. The next one is the lack and invisibility of traffic signs. From Faith to the boundary of Barangay Darasa, we have identified that there are only 3 visible signages. Unfortunately, these signages have not followed the specifications needed according to the international standards for traffic signs. The next one is the lack of sidewalks. As we do our field work, we have observed that we have a little portion for sidewalks along the highway. Unfortunately, these sidewalks are being used by the residents as their parking areas, so the pedestrians are forced to walk on the highway, which causes traffic accidents. The next one is the limited number of traffic enforcers. As we presented our project to the barangay officials, Councilor Serapio Carandang, the chairman for Peace and Order, stated that we only have 10 traffic enforcers to do their tasks. They cannot do it efficiently since they have to attend to the different emergencies in our barangay.
The next problem that we have, being a progressive barangay in Metro Tanawan, has a lot of public areas. These areas need speed limit to ensure the safety of pedestrians from reckless drivers. The next one is the inexistence of tollway zones as well as loading and unloading zones. Actually, we have a tollway policy, but it cannot be implemented since our city doesn't have a wrecker. A wrecker is a machine that tows vehicle permanently parked along the highway. And lastly, the problem that we have identified is the swerving and overtaking of the vehicle on the shoulder part of the road. For me, overtaking and swerving is okay, but it must be done in the right way, right manner, and not at the right time, but not on the shoulder part of the road, because it may create accident whenever there's a pedestrian running along the highway, since our city doesn't have a barricades with sidewalks. Being alarmed and aware of this particular problem, the team studied policies and created one to solve a problem when titled, Pedestrians in Danger in Barangay Darasa. For the existing policies, here are Ms. Carino Palencia and Ms. Leslie Anensel. Thank you.